What's up, world?
I just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They
Insert here.
Yo.
It's a terrible game. Bottom line. It's terrible in every way. Graphically, it's terrible. Gameplay is terrible. It's just terrible.
Angry Nick mad.
That game sucked, and it's gonna suck no matter how many revisions they make, and it just sucked even more because they put a Connect with it.
Angry Nick mad. Or if there's violence, I'll just laugh and enjoy the fun.
Kaz Hazari.
Kaz Harai.
They just kind of got tired of Angry Nick on the first one and said, I'm going to pass.
Oh, yes, I do. Precisely.
No.
I
No.
do all my work.
No.
And
You guys are so cute.
Oh, thank you. I try.
I mean, let's face it, Mario, and to a lesser extent Zelda, is what carries Nintendo at this point.
Always be radical.
I love you, little podcast. You're the bestest thing ever.
For the promise of the new Super Smash Bros. And the Zelda game, yes.
You will not find a better story presented in any other game genre, in my personal opinion. Like, JRPGs have that. They have that story.
That's what the entire game felt like. Oh my god, I want to bang my head into a wall.
It's podcast again? Can someone remind me? I thought it was a video game podcast.
You're listening to the Game Source Podcast.
And welcome, you wonderful people out there. It is Gerald, better known as Yes Elvis Lives, and we're here from the world famous Game Source Podcast on www.yourgamesource.com and also our Game Source YouTube page. How the heck are you? I hope you're well out there on this beautiful Sunday. For us on the West Coast, I don't know about you ladies, but I know it was great for me and Aaron.
It was like 80 degrees today in San Luis Obispo. It was beautiful today.
77 for us. You couldn't ask for anything better. Once again, yes, Elvis lives, but I have on three great people from our staffers today. I have, first off, one of our newest, in fact, our newest staffer. That would be King Space Cowboy Princess, Sam.
Hello. No, it's not from Bebop.
Fair enough. I was going to say. And then, of course, we have one of our long-standing members who just was reminding us of the first time she was on a podcast, because this is King's first podcast. So it is 7th Valkyrie.
Hello, everyone.
And also as well, we have the inimitable, the irresputable man himself, OSU Waterpolo. Aaron, how are you, man? Where'd he go? He just became a logo.
Yeah, he's blind and mute right now.
Yes, he's doing a Nick.
Nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants that indeed. So I'm hoping he'll pop up soon. It was just here. So anyways, I want to get right into it. There he is. Aaron, aka OSU Waterpolo. How are you, sir? You're on mute.
You're muted, darling.
I am okay and answering doors, which is why I muted everything.
Oh, fair enough.
Is that a Nightwing hat?
No.
Because I have a Nightwing hat that kind of looks like that. Oh, okay. Got it.
Typical OSU. There you go.
It's a Buckeye leaf, but no one believes that it's a Buckeye leaf.
Not I do.
Well, I'm going to wear my Nightwing hat on the next one, and then we can just be hat buddies.
Well, fair enough. Well, let's get into what's going on. Nintendo Direct last week had its, probably in my opinion, the best Nintendo Direct ever, with a lot of announcements, including an update on when...
New Fire Emblem!
Well, the new...
Sorry, I had to cut you off. That's just, like, the best thing.
The Nintendo Direct Fire Emblem, we can move on to the next
The
thing.
new 3DS XL is coming here, because we are not getting a new 3DS like other parts of the world. We're just getting the XL version. Here is coming middle of next month, and we're really excited for it here. Even though, as we've stated in past podcasts, it's caused quite some confusion to people who just bought 3DSs over the recent holidays. Is that going to make it, their 3DS outdated, things of that nature. And while it won't do that necessarily right away, there are some exclusive games coming to that platform. But I'll start with you, King. Have you had a chance to take a look and on video at the new 3DS XL? And do you think it's something that you would be interested in purchasing when it comes out next month?
I have looked at it, and you know, looking at it, it's just I have a 3DS XL. It is not something that I would purchase next month because I do feel like it's just repackaged. I will say though, if you have a smaller DS, or you know you're kind of one of those people where you've had one for a couple years and just haven't upgraded, I'd say definitely go for it because obviously the processing power has gotten better, has a bigger SD card, I believe, and you know, with the newer games coming out, I would definitely purchase it. But if you have a 3DS right now, I'd be fine with not purchasing it unless you're just crazy about the Xenoblade Chronicles, because I know that's exclusive to that.
Well, that's correct. That new Xenoblade Chronicles is. But I want to touch on the actual Wii U game here in a second. But first, Aaron, yeah, I know we touched on whether or not you were interested in getting the new 3DS. I know the Majora's Mask 3DS XL is coming out very soon. Is that something of interest to you, or is that something you're looking forward to getting when Fire Emblem comes out later on?
If like I can find a Majora's Mask just sitting on a store shelf, then yeah, I think I'm gonna pick one up because that thing looks amazing. I know the C-Stick is going to be compatible with Codename Steam, which I'm just dying for. You know, Xenoblade is going to be exclusive to it. I've seen about a half dozen games that the C-Stick is actually going to matter for, and actually, I don't want to say affect gameplay, but affect playability of the game. So I think for somebody like me who, you know, my 3DS is always within arm's reach of me unless I'm at work, and even then it's in the, you know, the floor of my car. But for somebody like me, I think it's going to be something I'm definitely going to look forward to, and I'll definitely get one by the time Xenoblade comes out. I just don't see the average consumer needing to upgrade or even realizing what the difference is. It's a micro SD card now instead of an SD card, and you have to unscrew the back of it to even get into the memory card. It's like, holy cow, this is a lot of work to
You need like an eyeglass kit screw too. They're really small.
Yeah, it's just a lot of choices that didn't make sense to me. I'm personally okay with the no power cord. I don't care. I have...
But that to me is
four DS cords within reach of me right now because I play enough that I kind of need more than one.
But that to me is a big stickler. I know it's only a $10 product if you get it off of Nintendo's site. I understand that, but to me it's something that Nintendo, to a general consumer, not to the Nintendo hardcore base, but to a general consumer, those little things to me add up to from a general consumer standpoint.
But if I'm a retail store, say I'm GameStop, if you've got the power-up reward zone card, whatever the heck it is, I'm going to throw in the cable when you buy a system. If I'm Best Buy and you have Gamers Club unlocked, I'm going to throw that in. If I'm Target and you've got the red card, I'm going to throw that in. You know, something to drive them to your store. I think that's not a bad idea for the retailers to throw in the $10 thing on every $200 purchase.
But what I'm going to see as far as it's going to be a quantity issue, because working retail, when you've had a situation where there are accessories that are for all intents and purposes needed like that, you're never going to have the same exact supply demand needs and demands. You're never going to have the same exact supply count for 3DS XLs to power cores. So one's going to always be out.
First adopters of this, if I get this before Christmas of 2015, this year I guess, I'm already gonna have a 3DS. I don't see very many people going and picking up the new 3DS unless they already have a DS and are, they're waiting for it. It's not like something they're gonna go in and buy off the shelf. I don't see it being a rush item for people who aren't already DS fans, who aren't like me and have, multiple cables around their house. I just don't see it being a big issue.
Okay. Well, I see it, like I said, for me, if you've just bought a 3DS, I think it's going to be something that you don't need right away. I agree with you, King, Sam R. King, that it is something that if you have a 3DS or just bought a 3DS, you will not need the new 3DS XL right away. Although eventually there will be enough games there, and I agree with you on that it will be quite functional and probably needed maybe by the holidays, as early as the holiday season. Well, Valkyrie, let me address something to you. Did you get a chance to see the Nintendo Direct?
I didn't watch it, but I looked at the notes that discussed it.
What jumped out at you?
Mostly how many games are incorporating amiibos. Like the whole list, it was this game with amiibos. This was like Steam something.
Could be Steam, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, like everything has amiibos now.
Every other game, give or take.
The Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario Party with amiibos. It looked like everything on there, which I think it's
new amiibos.
New amiibos?
Yeah, there's a whole new Mario universe line, and what we've already seen is the Smash Brothers line. So that's
And in the case of a new Mario being prepackaged with Mario Party 10 and whatnot, exclusively.
Timed exclusive.
Well, it's their marketplace as far as from a Nintendo standpoint. They've done exceedingly well, far beyond the expectations of most analysts in regards to how well the amiibos have sold. The errors in manufacturing, the ones notwithstanding, but the actual amiibos themselves have sold extremely well. You can now consider them almost on par with Disney Infinity and Skylanders, because those two are battling out neck and neck each year, and I see very strong sales for all three of them in the coming year. Sam, as far as King is concerned, tell me something that jumped out at you as far as the Nintendo Direct is concerned as a whole. Was there any games that popped out?
I mean, it's just like the Zelda's Majora's Mask. Like, I'm always like a classic fan with like the Mario and everything like that. That's Nintendo's niche. I'm saying that right?
Yeah, good.
See, I'm grammatically superb. So it's just like, I always look forward to those kind of games. There's nothing really popped out at me personally. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for the Nintendo market to turn around, because they did well in the holiday season, but right now, based on the Wii U, based on the new DS, it is repackaged stuff, and they've had a hard time. So I am looking forward to the games coming out. Nothing screaming.
I was hoping that Fire Emblem would be for Wii U. I was hoping that.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's what I was like, because the trailer. So I watched the trailer online, and the first part doesn't say what console, but then it shows the gameplay, and it's obviously being played on a 3DS. But I was hoping it was going to be for Wii U.
I think they feel that series is most comfortable and feels and looks.
Oh, it works.
And plays the best.
Definitely good on a handheld. But I was hoping it would be on Wii U. I think that would, because it's been a while. Because the last one that came out on a console was Radiant Dawn for Wii U.
Original Wii.
Or sorry, yeah, original Wii. See, I can't even keep them straight anymore.
Well, for me, and someone, Aaron knows this for me. I've always been lukewarm on the Nintendo product as a whole for the past few years, and just something to gain my interest, something would, and then there'd be other things Nintendo did that kind of shied me away. I saw that video for Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U, and I was just that is, to me, is the most impressive Wii U game that I have seen. I know that's still in development, hopefully for a holiday release this year. Outside just the character facial structure, which kind of looks very simple, but the scope of where you could go and the things that you could do within the game. If you get a chance, please check that out on the Nintendo Direct. The Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is the brand new game coming to the Wii U. That is truly looks like it will be an experience for Nintendo fans, hardcore and general consumer alike. It looks like it really is good. To me, it looks better at this point, and I'm sorry to say this, than Zelda Wii U at this point. And that's just my opinion, but it really looked like something that I want to delve into, and it looked like really something that was looks like it's going to be a really, really solid successor to the last iteration in the Xenoblade series. Aaron, what were your thoughts on it? You got a chance to check it out.
Yeah, I set my alarm and woke up at, what was it, like 6 a.m. our time to watch it.
I remember, yes.
I mean, I remember watching the intro video, and I'm like, okay, this game looks good. And then you see flying unicorns, and I'm like, no, there's multiple. That's got to be Pegasus. Oh my God, a Fire Emblem game. Oh my God, this looks amazing. It's going to be on Wii U. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then you see the gameplay, and it's like, okay, it's on 3DS. It makes sense to be on a 3DS. The console versions have never been as good to me, never been as fun as the portable ones have been. But I'm still glad it's coming out. It is going to have amiibo functionality with the 4 Fire Emblem amiibos that are coming out. They announced Martha's coming back to stores eventually, hopefully. So I was thrilled with that. I really enjoyed seeing Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. I really enjoyed seeing the Fire Emblem amiibo functionality with Codename Steam. Really was not as thrilled with Xenoblade Chronicles for the new 3DS as much as I thought it would be. It really looks bad compared to the original.
Yeah,
the background environments were the very best thing in the original Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, and this barely looks like a Game Boy Advance game to me.
Well, when you have to take such a large scope game and shrink it down into the 3D, that's the problem, because the game was built for a larger, more expansive system, and even though it was the Wii, it still, packed a little bit more power than the 3DS at that time, and to shrink it down like that, you're obviously going to have some issues and problems.
And I think it's really losing out because of that. I mean, there's parts where, just like in the scene in X, where you're looking over the lake, and you can see everything in the background, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I think Xenoblade Chronicles was one of the very best games of last generation, not just the Wii, but the entire generation. And it just the port to the new 3DS is definitely a weaker version of the game. I'm still gonna pick it up because I'm an addict and I pick up games that I probably will never play, but it was bad to me. And then I'm really sick of Nintendo's match 3 games. There were 3 or 4 of them that they showed during the Nintendo Direct. Though Puzzle and Dragon does look good, I will probably pick that one up. But the Pokemon one that's free to play with microtransactions, I'm not even gonna touch it. Just no.
Fair enough.
I will say, though, just as a side note, is for purchasing the 3DS, if you are somebody who uses the 3D functionality a lot, I heard it is much better on the new one, and I know the one currently gives me headaches. So if that's a feature that you use a lot, I would definitely purchase it. Otherwise,
yeah, it's got the camera is going to track your face movement. So if you move, the 3D is going to move with you. So that you don't have that dead zone if you move more than about an inch on the system. So that's cool. But even me, who's a huge 3D fan, I only turned it on for cutscenes for most games, so I don't know. I don't know how great of a feature that is. I mean, maybe I'll turn the 3D on some more, but it kind of drains battery life at the same time. So just kind of depends on, if I'm playing at home, maybe it's worth leaving it on while I'm playing and charging it at the same time. But I still doubt that even with the longer battery life it says it has, that I'd be using it much, out and about.
Well, it's for the people who love it, So.
Yeah.
Well, overall, Nintendo Direct proved to be a very, very, very good outing for them.
They normally are.
Well, sometimes to me they're hit or miss.
Single games, I don't like them, but when they're multiple, 12 games like this one, they're normally pretty good.
Well, I just think what it did is it outlined for the rest of 2015 a lot of great support games for Sky Fox and Zelda, should they both, hold their dates and come out this year. So it gives Wii U and 3DS owners a lot to look forward to, as far as there's a lot of solid titles that are going to come down the road. And really, for a lot of people that are willing to get back into Nintendo, now is a great time, because not only do you have that to look forward to, but you had all those great games that came out last year that you can get, hopefully, on a cheaper basis now as well.
I had a friend today ask me, he's like, because he was talking about how I have a Wii U, and he's like, is it worth, not eating out for lunch for 2 months to get a Wii U? I'm like, honestly, it's starting to be the time where I would say yes to that question.
If it does go a permanent price change at $249, I know, Aaron, there's some deals that are out there which give you a free gift card for $50 off, $50 gift card, so it essentially makes that. But if it does do a permanent price change at $249, I think for a lot of people that should be the deal breaker.
Yeah, for me, I got the Zelda one with Wind Waker. I think I spent $250 on that one, and that was fine by me.
Oh yeah. If they bring it down permanently to that $250 price across the board with a bundle, I think they're doing themselves right.
Yeah, it was nice over the holidays. You could match it. Like Target had it at $250 the same week. Either Best Buy or Walmart had a $50 gift card on it, so you could go get it for $250 with a game, depending on where you were, depending on which game was with it, and get the $50 gift card. So there were some really good deals on it over the holidays.
Indeed, and we're here at Game Source, and we're going to keep a close eye on the Nintendo products to make sure that everybody's going to get their best bang for the buck, and keep reporting on all those great Nintendo games coming up. Well, there's also some other games coming up very soon, and I want to just run real quickly through them. As far as the next 3 major titles that are coming out for people, we've mentioned real quickly before Dying Light, Evolve, and The Order 1886. My question, real quickly, to each of you, and Sam R. the King. I'm going to start with you, Sam R. I thought that was pretty good. I'm going to start with you first. Do you think any of those 3 games that are coming out within the next month? Because we're really right on the doorstep of actually starting big game releases again. Do you think any of those can succeed to the point where they can be an established tentpole for their respective publishers and become AAA titles?
Okay, so right now I have in my hand my pre-order for The Order. Now, I am pretty, I was very easily attracted to the fact that when I played it at PAX, the fact that I couldn't tell from the cinematic to the gameplay, I was just like, my dream came true. Like, ever since I saw the first Blizzard trailer, for World of Warcraft, and I was so disappointed that it wasn't the same graphics. It's just like, I'm finally living the dream. But the thing is, though, is I have heard some issues with the game. But granted, some of the things that I was looking at, people were playing it in December, so I think most of them should be fixed by that time. I see a good potential for The Order. I don't know about it being AAA status, because I don't know how with the storyline, that kind of makes it.
It seems like it has a lot of buzz on it, one way or the other. I know I played it earlier this month, and Aaron was so gracious to record some of that and almost broke his arm in doing so at CES. The game looks great, as you have said, and it just really, from a graphic standpoint, really looks like it could be a really quality game. A story standpoint, as far as the battle with the half breeds, the lichens, werewolves, as it were, really that concept is really good in a steampunk type format, which really hasn't been covered that much in video games. The gameplay is what will make or break this, as far as I think. A game that's not going to be. Oh no, no worry. No problem. A game that's going to be front loaded in sales. I think it's going to get a lot of sales up front, but reviews and word of mouth are everything for a long term, 3-4 months of really strong sales. And what will determine that will be gameplay. The gameplay on the vertical slice that I played at CES was not.
I heard it was mediocre.
Yeah, I'd probably say that's the best way to say it.
That's being gracious.
Oh, well, like I said, I feel like they knew about it, and I'm hoping by the time it's released, they have fixed a lot of that. You know, I do completely agree with you. I think initially, because of the graphics, people are going to buy it. It's definitely the word of mouth, and we'll see how long it stands. I hope so.
As do I, because I'm going to pre-order the game myself. I know, despite my better judgment on some occasions with it, like especially when the monster popped out right at my face. I remember Aaron seeing that, and actually, I don't know if we actually put that up on the YouTube page, but yeah, it was just right at the stairs there during that vertical slice. Was kind of like, oh, let me out of it, but. In that kitchen.
I think that one, the song in the background made us. They wouldn't let us post that one.
Yeah, and the kitchen scene though, where you can really see it come alive, and you really see the potential of the Order 1886 there. Miss Valkyrie,
yes, sir?
Have you seen enough of the Evolve to think that it's going to live up to the hype that it wants to? Because E3 this past year, it was by many publications the game that really was going to rock the world, and left a lot of editor's choices for E3. But since then, they've made some weird decisions with DLC and paywise, which have left a little bit of taste in bad mouths. I know they had a beta over the weekend that George from from our friends at the GPG got the chance to play it, and he's going to share his thoughts with you. But what have you seen? Do you think it could reach that AAA plateau? Do you think it'd be something that the makers of the Left 4 Dead series can really be proud of?
My only worry with this game at launch is it's going to be very buggy, because it is centered around this multiplayer experience that is going to primarily take place over Xbox Live, PSN, whatever. And historically, when games depend on that, when the whole game relies on an internet connection, I'm just really worried it's going to be buggy. And I think once they launch, they test, they kind of get a vibe of what's going on, I think after that, it absolutely is going to be phenomenal. But I just have this feeling they're going to have a lot of issues at launch.
I think that I'm worried about as far as the content that you're going to get for $60, because they've already laid out a lot as far as what this DLC is. If you don't pre-order it, they're really punishing you for not pre-ordering it by offering outrageous prizes for just even one monster. I'm worried about the core content of the actual game itself, as far as how much are you going to get for $60. They may price themselves out of success, because I think that game had a lot of great momentum. It stalled a little bit, but I still have high hopes for the game once it comes out. And then
I think it's going to be fantastic, but they've got to get to a point where everybody's happy, and that's going to be difficult.
And if people find out that they've got a whole bunch of DLC on the disc that you have to unlock by paying more, that doesn't
make day one paid DLC doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. If it's been out for 6 months and then they're like, hey, new stuff, awesome, I'm excited about it. Like, oh, I've been playing this game for this long, now I have new stuff, I have to pay for it, whatever. But if it's day one, you have to pay more money from what you just dropped $60 on. There's dumb. There's no reason that should not be included.
And that's what these PR snafus do, is they create a lot
I'm
of bad...
okay with it as long as it comes free with the new copy. I'm okay with making the used
that would
copy
be fine.
buy it, but not on the new copies. That's just lame.
Yeah, if I bought this new, I am not giving you any more money today.
But there has been instances, the last Street Fighter game. There's been others where the actual DLC is on the disc, and they say by a certain date, X date, 2 weeks later, a month later, okay, you pay the DLC, and it unlocks on the disc. And to me, that's really really irritating.
It's a slap in the face.
I think they're riding on the fact that this is made by Left 4 Dead.
Yes.
The people who made Left 4 Dead. I know people who still play that game.
I love that game. That's still one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. And so I think the reputation of... I think that's why they think they can do this, put the DLC right away. Even though, to me, I would think it would deter a lot of sales. I think the fact that it's made by them might sway some people.
Yeah, if this was just a fresh face, nothing exciting yet, then they might not, like you said, not have the reputation that precedes them.
Well, thank you, Sam King, for mentioning Left 4 Dead, because I want to just touch on quickly on our next topic. By the way, Dying Light is coming out this Tuesday, and I don't think anybody's talking about that as far as being...
Is that the scary one?
No, it's a survival. You survive zombies.
Think of Dead Island with Mirror's Edge for a lot of parkour action.
That sounds cool. What am I thinking of? What's this? Oh, Evil Within is a scary one, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But also that's come out recently is the Resident Evil HD remake, which has just come out. It's a HD port of the GameCube version, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron. Is that correct?
I'm not a Resident Evil fan. I get scared in Bambi, so yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. But it leads to me this question. There's been a lot of talk around the internet this week, again, about HD remakes. Some people really don't appreciate it, don't like the fact that there are resources and money being spent for HD bump-ups to this next generation. Personally, for me, for hearing for years how I would be punished that... if I bought used games, I'm punishing the publisher. Having that beaten over my head for so many years, and I mentioned this to you guys on our staff page, but I wanted to elaborate more here. I really think that this is a good thing for publishers. They usually have small teams. They usually don't spend that much money. They don't usually allocate that many resources from whatever game that they're doing to make these HD remakes. And if you don't like them, just don't buy them. Is my thought. But I want to hear your thoughts, all three of you, on HD remakes. And if you do like HD remakes, which one would you kind of like the best? I will start off with what I mentioned on our staff page again. Well, the Left 4 Dead series, which I would hopefully that would come to fruition. But then Mass Effect and Uncharted as well. Aaron, I want to start with you, my friend. What kind of, if you do like HD remakes, if you see things that you would like to come to, let's say the Wii U, or PS4, or Xbox One,
or PC,
or PC, that's better than what Square Enix did with the Final Fantasy VII port to PS4. But we won't talk about that too much. What would you like to see if that was the case?
I'd like to see games that are actually older than the ones you mentioned. Everything you mentioned is last gen. I'd rather just straight up see sequels for them. But I think PS2, Xbox 3, or the original Xbox, GameCube, that generation or older, I'm okay with seeing PS4 remakes of, or the current gen. And I think if they're doing the remake to test the waters for that brand, if they came out with a Legend of the Dragoon.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
And then also as well, I know that you'd like this, Sam, Valkyrie, Psychonauts.
That's what I was gonna say. That's how I was gonna answer this question.
But I mean, if they brought the game out to test the water for that style of game, that series, whatever, and then B, used, like, kind of develop both of them at the same time, so they're really using the resources from the new game and just inputting the old data into it, the levels and things like that. I have no clue why my camera cut off. Oh, okay, sorry.
And you're up right now, so.
Okay, but if they do it twofold, one to test the waters, two, they're already making the sequel, the new series, something or other that uses that style of gameplay. So they're building the engine, and they're using this to kind of get money to finish the other game. Then I'm okay with that. But I mean, I know you said you wanted a Mass Effect remake, but I mean, the Mass Effect bundle just came out, what, a year or two ago on most of these systems?
But for instance, if BioWare gave an outside studio that normally does smaller games, they said, hey, touch up 1, 2, and 3 for us, especially 1. The issues that 1 has. As great as a game it is, and I love that game. I've played it through 6 times.
That's it?
That's it for me.
I have every achievement for that game, so take some back.
All of them on 1 and 3, to include all the DLC. I'm missing 1 on 2 because I refuse to play as one of the classes in story mode. I couldn't take it.
But what I'm saying is, if there are known issues that all 3 of you could say that if Mass Effect got touched up, this is what you'd fix. I think each one of us would be very tempted to play that again. Sam,
only if they added new story content, though. I mean, do I really need to play the exact same game that I played 2 years ago? It's got to have
it's kind of like people who reread books.
Sam, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm sorry. I guess my reply to that would be, it's kind of like people who reread books. Yeah, I know the story, but you discover new things when you read it again.
But I'm reading the same copy I already have. I'm not going out and buying, the version that's like Harry Potter. It's not like she's added anything in the new editions. I'm not going to go out and buy a new edition of it. I'm going to have the original edition.
If I may, I can say this. There are sometimes in the period in video games where you play some games and they're okay, and there's just like this malaise of, okay, it didn't quite meet your expectation. Okay, it didn't quite meet your expectation. Okay, it's another multiplayer game, what have you. And sometimes, like you said, Sam, you just want to revisit something that you have really fond memories of, and to relive it with better visuals and things of that nature, and even subtle changes on it, however slight, would be greatly appreciated by many who enjoyed that game. Sam, Valkyrie, I mean, is there any other games that you would like to see an HD remake of?
Oh, I just want Psychonauts. I would be so happy. It's my favorite game of all time. I mean, I have it downloaded on my 360, but it's one of those ones where it's like it shuts down all the 360 features, and it's just like you're playing an Xbox original. If an HD remake of that game, because they're doing a lot of remakes of their other games, which I think is fantastic, but I just want Psychonauts. That's it. I would play that game 100 more times.
I don't think I've played that game.
You never played Psychonauts?
No.
I have a copy on Steam. I'll give it to you on Steam, because I got like a Humble Bundle and I already owned it.
Sam, we've had this discussion before. So many people have said they played Psychonauts because of how highly it's rated. In actuality, Double Fine could send you the numbers and tell you that there's only a very, very small amount that have actually played it.
There's a very small percentage.
It's one of those games where there's so many more people that say they've played it than actually have. So it is for all intents and purposes, what I've heard, and for what you said, it's one of the really great games of that generation. It's got this
like weird cult following. Like, just a very small people, and the people who do love it are obsessed with it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being in the store, and I don't remember if Gerald had started with us at that time or not, but Psychonauts came out, and it was $50, $60. I want to say 50 when it came out. And then, like 2 months later, the sales on it were absolutely abysmal, and so they cut the price to $20.
And then people thought it sucked because it was cheap.
Well, yeah, and then everybody, because it's a $20 game, oh my god, it's had a price cut, it must be garbage. But I remember Double Fine actually going and saying, if you send us your receipt or whatever, we'll refund you the difference to make it that you paid $20. I can't think of any other company that would do something like that besides them, who actually care about the gamers and gaming. So that was pretty cool.
I think I foresee, since there's a lot of these, it's like Grim Fandango and Day of the Tentacle and other games like that coming out. I think I foresee a day that you're going to be very happy, Sam, when it gets re-released. So a lot of people, like you, Sam, can actually experience, and me as well, experience it for the first time as well, because it's something I missed in that generation, and I deeply regret doing that. I want to touch on next Microsoft's presser. If you get a chance this past week to see their Windows 10 announcement and all that, but to gamers, there was a couple things of interest. Primarily, they're wanting to fully integrate Windows 10 experience with the Xbox One, seeing how that they've said that they're going to be able to, you can stream the Xbox One to your PC, similar to what is already done with the Wii U and the PS Vita. And then also their HoloLens, which is their foray into the, I can't say virtual reality because it's augmented reality. And I see you rolling your eyes already, Sam. It's funny because I did too, because I don't know if you got to see the highlights of them interacting with a room full of Minecraft that popped out. But it shows the potential what can be. But was there anything from the Microsoft presser, Sam King, that you thought that was appealing to you in any way, shape, or form whatsoever?
Okay, well, first off, Microsoft tends to do these great advertisements and not necessarily fulfill them, like with the Kinect
and Smart Glass and
yeah.
And the one that I liked was the Luma Room, which takes that glasses concept and doesn't have the glasses, but your room would become the actual field. They actually debuted that last year at CES, but decided not to go through with it, and I think that's what's come of it, and that to me is truly disappointing. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I watched the HoloLens presentation in which I forget her name, but she in the program made a quadricopter and then they 3D printed it. I thought that was really cool. I could see a lot of, for educational purposes, I think it'd be very, very cool if that could not only be produced, but at a price that the average consumer can pay for. But as for the Xbox One and Windows 10, first off, I was a little disappointed in the fact that it's Xbox streams to your computer, not the other way around. But Phil Spencer is looking into that. I believe right now that the graphics is like 720p, but and also just kind of the running joke, since it's every other operating system that's good, this one should be good. So hopefully not too many blue screens.
And if you have Windows 7 or 8, you will get that free supposedly. Although usually problems will arise from that.
Yeah, I don't know how many blue screens or porting issues, but I do know that Microsoft, they're trying, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, I was reading some YouTube comments, which I know are the most reliable, but someone pointed out, why can't I just hook up my PC to the or my Xbox to HDMI? Like, am I really just getting a bigger screen out of this streaming?
Well, that's what's happening already, because some of the streamers have already found ways to connect their PS4 into a PC already, and also an Xbox One. So that's how they're able to, if you watch Twitch and you see them playing an Xbox One or PS4 game, they're able to have that type of integration that only happens when you're PC streaming. So, I mean, it's not too big of a leap, and I agree with you that they are trying. Sam, Valkyrie, was there anything outside of of what was talked about that it was of interest to you on the Microsoft presser?
I do think it's interesting the sense of being able to stream it is if you only have one TV, it's kind of cool how the Wii U, how you can actually just play on the gamepad. Like, you could have a controller and just use the gamepad as a screen. So if somebody else wants to use the TV, you can still play your game. So if you have an Xbox One and you have a PC and you want to play your Xbox game, but someone in your household wants to use the TV for something else, like, you could do both now. Because before, it's like, oh, if somebody's on the downstairs TV, like, I can't play my Xbox right now unless I boot them off. So I would just see that as a benefit as someone who only has one TV and multiple people in the house.
Yeah, I remember that, like, friends of mine do that on the Wii U, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. You know,
like, I did that with
like
Bayonetta too. Like, I was sitting in the bowl chair with it on my lap and the controller, just sitting there, and then, like, Phil and Spencer were using the TV. And it worked out fine, because I still got to play my Wii U game, and they could use the TV.
Is it bad that I do both of those at the same time, and it's not someone else watching TV, it's me watching the TV?
You could do that if you're just
That's
yourself.
what I do.
Yeah.
Aaron, what were your thoughts on the HoloLens, which again is an AR with the augmented reality as opposed to the Project Morpheus? Obviously, what we saw at CES.
I think it's going to fall into the same issues that some of those bigger, the bigger VRs, you know, the ones where you actually have the full rig set up and it's not just the helmet. I think it's going to have the same problems as those in that I don't have enough room in my house for that. Where am I going to find, you know, a 10 by 10 floor that's perfectly with no tables, no couches, no anything else in there getting in the way of it. So it's going to be one of those places that, you know, almost like in Asia, an internet cafe where, yeah, maybe, you know, a Microsoft Lens cafe might spring up and be able to do it. But I really don't see the average consumer being into it so much that they're going to have a dedicated space for this to work. And yeah, it might be able to put some things, you know, like if you've got a chair or a bed, it might change how it plays. But most of the games aren't really going to... they're going to want a flat space. They're not going to integrate, you know, distractions to it. So I have a hard time seeing that doing as amazing as they hope it does. Or it's going to be at some outrageous price because it's Microsoft.
Okay. We lost somebody.
Oh, Sam's gone.
I thought it was first because there was no more static. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh, she's static? I wasn't hearing any static from her.
When she dropped, I had just slight static.
Okay. Very stealth, ninja-like. Well, hopefully she'll be coming back with us. But I want to touch on one last thing before we head on out, and that is the free-to-play expansion. You know, I'm at a loss here, and I'm watching a little bit of, you know, as far as the NFL games lately, the playoffs, and it's going to get to the Super Bowl pretty soon, and I've been watching a little bit of prime time of what's going on. And I noticed something lately. There's 2, 3, even 4 really, really free-to-play games that are spending a lot of money advertising on national TV. Where the hell are they getting all this money from?
Some of them are making $1 million a day.
Exactly. Exactly. So I ask you, how is this happening? What is the allure? What is the trend? Boom Beach is one. What's the Heroes? Is it Heroes at War?
God of War, Hero Clash.
Clash of Clans.
Game of War with
what's the one with
one
the
actress is actually doing a live action freaking battle, and it looks like a miniature Hobbit set. It was like, what the hell?
And these are expensive commercials that they're doing, that they're producing, and they've got to get the money from somewhere. Sam, can you explain to me how this is happening? What's the allure? And could these games really, you know, best, all the console games that we love, and just just trounce them by any which way.
This is an excellent question. I have no idea how free-to-play games make so much money. I mean, I understand there are people who will dump money into it. They're like, oh, well, I started playing for free. I could dump a little bit of money into it. But, like, I try to avoid paying for free-to-play, like, for anything in free-to-play games. I do not understand how they make money. Like, that much, enough money to advertise the way they do, and just how expansive it is. It is beyond me. I have no idea how they make so much money.
Well, so then I ask you now, and Sam, thanks. I know you got back with us here. So I ask you, the question is, how are these companies that are doing the free-to-play commercials, which are all over TV right now, they're spending huge amounts. I mean, these commercials are not cheap to do it in the NFL playoffs, and to do it during prime time on major networks. And I'm assuming you're going to see at least one or two on the Super Bowl, which, as everyone here knows, whether you know football or not, are major 30-second, 1-minute spots, which require a lot of cash in hand. Can I ask you, how are these companies keeping that kind of revenue and generating that kind of revenue to keep buying these commercials?
Yeah, no, it like when I started seeing like advertisements for app games, I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? Like Clash of Clans, or was it Game of War or something like that?
Yeah, Game of War. That was it.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I know advertisements, just by simply clicking them, you can generate some revenue that way. I would have to guess is they are getting sponsored somehow. And the company is just really banking on the fact that, hey, if I advertise this, I'll get more people to play. Have you seen, okay, this might be, I'm hoping you've seen this, the South Park freemium episode?
I have not.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know how they were talking about, oh yeah, most of the people, they don't pay for anything, but those small percentage of addicts, that's who we target. And I'm just like, that's probably true. Those addicts out there, I mean, granted, they don't spend as much as Stan, I don't think, did in that show, but it's just one of those things where it's like I feel like they're just really kind of taking a leap financially to see if they can get their games up.
But these people that are playing it, that must be playing it to an extent where they're dumping a whole lot into microtransactions, because these commercials are not going on at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They're going on in prime time. They're going on at major expensive points in time for programming issues, and they are just I'm just amazed, and my mind is boggled, because that there's so much, they're generating so much money, because yeah, you're right, somebody's sponsoring, whether they're outsourcing from China or other countries, whether there must be investors of some type, whether it's publicly or privately funded. But to these games, there must be people generating lots of microtransactions. Aaron, I know that Elder Scrolls Online recently announced that they will be going to a free-to-play format, kind of. You still got to buy the console version of it when it comes out later this year in June. And then also Hearthstone has really done well for Blizzard as far as it's concerned. And
so it's Heroes of the Storm, and it was in alpha up until the week and a half ago.
And I know you've got several videos out.
And Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard has made as much money in the time those two has been out as they did in that same span of time on World of Warcraft, which has 10 million subscribers at $15 a month.
And how is this possible? I'm asking you. You have a lot of videos, by the way. If you have not seen Heroes of the Storm, Aaron has a ton of videos on our GameSource YouTube page.
But don't expect me to win, because I suck at it.
But how is this happening? What is the allure of all these free-to-play games? I play free-to-play games on occasion. Loadout was the most recent. But I did not feel the need to go and purchase and use my money on these microtransactions. So what is the allure of people buying stacks? And I hear all the time with Hearthstone that people are just,
they drop $100 at a time.
Yeah. Or they could play for a long time and do really well without spending a dime.
Yeah. I've paid some money for a couple of free-to-plays. There was a Dragon Age iOS app that I put $2 into. One of the How to Train Your Dragons I put $2 into. Hearthstone I put $2 into. But otherwise I played that for free. Most games I don't. But I know at work there's a whole bunch of guys that play Game of War, and they go on together, and they just, they think they can dominate. And if you don't pay money in most of those games, you fall behind, and people will destroy everything you've done, and you basically have to start over.
So those are pay to win.
Those are paid to survive. You don't even really win in most of them. It's just pay to survive.
I'll just say for the microtransactions I've done is in League, like the skins and things like that. Those are just for. I mean, they do a lot. They put a lot of work into them. To be fair, I mean, like they change up the animation and things like that.
But are there any mechanical differences? I mean, I've dabbled in Leagues, but like, if you put on a different outfit, does it change anything?
Yeah, well, not mechanically. No,
mechanically, like you get a different power.
It's a psychological thing, quite frankly. You're like, ooh, I like that outfit, or and it's not something like because you generate IP, right? And it takes a little while after game of being called many things. 12-year-olds can be very mean these days, but it's just one of those things where it's just
you should see some of my Heroes streams. Oh my God, the people are just so out there.
My favorite question is, "Are you girl?" And I'm like, well, I'm atomically yes.
Girl is a state of mind.
Yeah, but
I have the right parts.
It's just like it's a psychological thing. I think with a lot of these things, because just like League is very good about like, no, you don't need it, but after a while, you're like, oh man, this is my favorite champion. I want to spend the money to like get this cool skin or whatever. And so that's kind of how I feel about with League. They don't force it upon you by any means.
And I'm not here to disparage anyone, either here or out there, that if you spend money on free-to-play, by all means. And I know that one of these days that I'm going to play a free-to-play game, and I'm going to get the attraction, and I'm going to say, you know what, I'm just going to buckle under, and I'm going to start doing some microtransactions myself. Sam, Valkyrie, you mentioned that someone in your life has played Hearthstone quite a bit.
Yeah, he just started, and I can't get him away from it.
But he hasn't spent a dime yet.
Nope. But so he's still doing really well. I think he's playing a priest deck, which is normally not an aggressive deck, but he's playing it aggressively. So he's doing well. He's playing against real people and winning. So.
I play priest deck too. Absolutely.
What's wrong with priest deck? If it's something bad, tell me so I can make fun of him.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what I play as.
Oh, excellent.
I think I have 10 wins until my priest deck goes golden. But yeah, it's.
But have you spent any money in Hearthstone?
I spent $2 on it in the beta. Because you got crap for testing out the store. But I don't even want to think of all of the pets in World of Warcraft, though, that I bought. That do, at the time I bought most of them, did absolutely nothing besides follow you around. I mean, now they have a Pokemon-esque battle system for the pets, and the ones that you bought are typically better than average pets. But, I used to... Every time a pet came out, I bought one. I had most of all the TCG ones from the old World of Warcraft TCG. I mean, I understand, the people that drop here and there. I mean, I don't think I've ever spent more than about $30 in a year on things in WoW, but
I do know
some of those companies I was reading were making $1 million a day in revenue. I do know that just blows my mind.
In China, South Korea, Asian countries like that, this is their culture. Free to play is embedded in their culture now, and it is quite normal to do as far as it's concerned. In Europe and North America, it's still getting used to it. That type of deal depends on the game scenario and things of that nature. So I was just wondering exactly, the mindset for most people as they're going in there. But obviously, you can see the potential when these companies are spending millions of dollars just on advertising to get their name out there, and they're doing it in the most high-profile ways. That gets my attention, and that gets the attention of us here at Game Source. And really, I just appreciate all of you giving me that kind of feedback on it. And
I have a really big worry about them, though. I mean, what if, because a lot of them are gated by time, and so, you pay the money so that your cooldowns are nowhere near as long, and the more you play the game, the longer that time wait is, so that you pay more and more and more money. But what if, say, the next Call of Duty comes out, and, it's a microtransaction game. Every match you play, you have to pay $1, or you have to wait 3 days for one match.
But Call of Duty is on free-to-play in China. Call of Duty Online.
Yes. But, I mean, over here, if they go to that, you have to pay $1 a match or wait, for every level that you are, you have to wait an extra hour. So, by the time you've ranked up into the game to a decent level, you're waiting days or weeks at a time to play one match for free, and they're going to charge you $1 to play now.
I don't think it would be that extreme, because I think for a lot of these microtransactions, they're subtle. I mean, like, in the fact that, like, yeah, you could. I see that more for the apps where, like, I play that is it, Family Guy game, the Quest for stuff. You gotta wait. I get that, but for Call of Duty, something like that, you have to pay $1 for every match.
For console games in the States or Europe, I just don't see that working the way that it works for an app. Because on apps, you're getting, a lot of people's parents, like me or Gerald's generation's parents, who are playing, and they're retired and they have nothing better to do, so they're playing these games and they don't want to wait. I said our parents, Gerald, not you. It means those people older than you, like a couple of decades. But, I mean, I have a very hard time seeing them go that way, even though, yeah, that is how they are over in Asia. I don't see them coming here in that sense to be the extreme that they are there. But it does worry me that somebody is going to try to do that with a big name game, like Final Fantasy has had a couple of apps that do it. What if they try in Final Fantasy 16 to do that as their console game?
I think that's going to be the test.
Zero is doing it, isn't it?
To some
extent,
extent,
it's very social, and if you don't have a bunch of friends, you're not going to be able to play as often, or you're going to have to pay. And I'm just like, this is scary.
Well, Sam, Valkyrie, one last thought, if you have, on free-to-play games before we head on out.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
I don't know if you were to, like, follow that up with a question. I think they're fantastic. Normally, kind of like we've been talking about, like pay-to-win games, not cool. Like, if the amount of money you spend is directly related to how many times you can win, not based on skill, like, that kind of sucks, but it's going to happen. It's going to exist. So I think it's good that it's an opportunity for somebody who wants to just play a game and not spend money on it. Cool, they can do that. But having the opportunity where if you want to unlock more things, then that opportunity is there too. I think when it comes to free-to-play stuff,
or new levels that the free people don't get access to.
I would say I would prefer like a new level versus a new weapon, like a better weapon. Like, oh, this gun's better if you pay money for it. That not cool.
Yeah.
So as long as the core game is the same for everyone, more power to you. But if you want to pay for addition, I mean, at that point it just becomes like DLC for this free-to-play game, where it's everybody gets the core experience, but if you want to pay more money to get more things that enhance the core experience, not necessarily change it, cool.
And Sam King, last thoughts from you on it before we head on out. As far as I know, you said you don't see this type of drastic change because you don't think American and North American and European market will actually look on it favorably. But what do you see as far as the trend in the future for free-to-play games?
I think, like I was saying earlier, I do, when Sam or Valkyrie, sorry, was asking the question about with the League skins, if they change mechanically, and I said no, and I think that's good, because it's exactly going with what Sam's saying, is the fact that, like, it does not change the core game, it just enhances it, and look how well League is doing. Yeah, the community, terrible, but, with the tournaments, the LCS, just the popularity is very, very strong, and because of the fact that they aren't they're not petty, and I think with games like I don't think the drastic change will occur, because I think it would be too much. It would really deter the publisher's business if they did, what Aaron was saying, the fact that like $1 a match or something like that, and I could see little things like they do already with like the weapons. You're just gonna have that, and it's going to give other companies an opportunity to be like, hey, we don't do that, come over here. So.
Fair enough. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, number 116 of the world-famous Game Source podcast. It has been a tremendous pleasure having you three on as part of the show. Don't forget to check us out at www.yourgamesource.com. We're Game Source on Facebook. Please like us. If you like what we do, if you like the fact that we're the leading aggregate news site for all of the video game news and information around the web, we've posted over 30,000 stories to date from our GameSource Facebook page, and also at GameSource on Twitter. If you follow Twitter, if you're on Twitter, please get a chance to follow us. We're almost at 1,000 followers and going strong. And GameSource on Facebook, we've got a lot of feedback there as well. And then also our home site, which has a lot of great interviews, has a lot of great reviews, has a lot of great articles, opinions. I just put one out on the console scene for the entire year, my thoughts on that, up until, for all the
totally
games.
Wrong on all of them.
That's your opinion. You can write a rebuttal. How about that? But actually, my thoughts, I think, are right on the money. But as of now, because there's, E3 usually they announce like 15 different things that make me wrong. But anyways, if you want to check that out, that's there as well. But we have a lot of great opinion pages. Sam King, she wrote on in case you missed a page, she has a couple great articles as well that she recently wrote, and her Citizens of Earth thoughts are coming out later this week. Aaron recently reviewed it as well for the Wii U. Sam, I know, yeah, and streamed it as well. Sam, and we had a stream as well on it. Sam's got it on the Vita, so we're looking forward to getting all around thoughts on that game. It's not the biggest of games that are out there, but Atlas was kind enough to send this to us.
It's cute. Like it's
exactly.
funny. It's cute.
Worth
It's
playing.
hilarious though too.
It's like $15 if you get it right now. I think the $15 ends on Tuesday on most systems, but it's totally worth it, even the $20 to play it. It's so cute. It's so funny.
And it's out on every
stereotypes. Everything in the absolute worst possible.
It's a good commentary on modern society.
Yes, and it's out available on the
So many
Vita.
stereotypes.
Yes, indeed. It is a cute game. If you have not seen it in action, Corey recently did a stream as well on our GameSource YouTube page, so you can check it out for yourself. But it is available on the Vita, the 3DS, the PC, the PS4, and the Xbox One. It's a great offer.
Keep going.
What else?
The Wii U.
Wii U and the Wii U.
The one I reviewed, he forgets. I mean, gee.
Sorry. Anyway.
See if you get any more reviews.
Be nice. Gosh, I have to remember so many things when it comes to Game Source. Give me a break. Cut me some slack. Anyways. We've also got that. I've got a review for iDarb coming to Xbox One, which will be the free Games with Gold game for the month of February. We got a chance to take a look at that, before the game comes out, so we're very appreciative of that as well. Dying Light, we hope to have a review of that hopefully this coming week. Hopefully be posted before this comes out as well. But I truly appreciate everyone's time. Truly appreciate you out there watching and you out there listening also as the MP3 when it hits on our YourGameSource.com podcast
We also
page.
should have a interview with Disco Pixel, the developers behind Jungle Rumble.
Yes.
For it's on the App Store. It's coming out on Vita and some other systems. So that should be hopefully this week. I know we're taping it this week, so hopefully we can get it turned around fairly quickly.
I wish you the best with that, and Aaron has been a tremendous help indeed as far as getting all the stuff together. Sam King, anything coming out since you just sent us the Citizens of Earth? Anything else you're planning down the line?
Well, the order's coming out very soon, same with Evolve, so got my plate full.
Fair enough. And last but certainly not least, Miss Valkyrie. Any more King of the Valkyries down the line?
Me and Josh have been trying to coordinate for like weeks, and we just have not been able to, but we will. Because the thing is we both have each other's Christmas presents still, and if we don't see each other, we're just gonna keep each present for ourselves. So
that would be bad.
That's what we're like. Oh, and we need to at least give each other Christmas presents, and then while we're there, then we'll record. So.
Well, that's the King and the Valkyrie podcast, and they have their own great podcast. If you're able to catch it, it's also on our podcast page at yourgamesource.com. Also, the CNC Mother Bleepity Bleep podcast. That's also, you can find that as well.
They should change the name to the Mother Bleepity Bleep. I think that sounds better than what the actual name is.
Well, Chris and Corey, they, when they get a chance, they do a great podcast as well. So if you get a chance, check it out. Our plus ones, Aaron and I did several over at the PlayStation Experience and also CES. If you didn't catch our coverage of CES, that's also available on our YouTube page and our podcast page. And Aaron's thoughts on CES on our cool stuff and OSU Waterpolo pages, I believe, are on both. And he did a great job with that as well. And your Nintendo Direct thoughts in writing are there as well. So I truly appreciate everything that all three of you done. And if you get a chance, check us out. Once again, yourgamesource.com for everything in the latest and greatest in video game scene. This is Gerald, better known as Yes Elvis Lives. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And, well, Aaron?
I don't care. I don't have a sign-off. I refuse to have a sign-off.
Sam, better known as the King Cowboy Space Princess.
The way around. King Space Cowboy Princess.
I was trying to remember that.
Strike one, Gerald.
I was trying
Gerald's getting old. He's forgetting things.
I was trying not to cheat and look at the site on the other window.
It's okay. It is okay. And I'm just grateful to be here. And thank you.
Well, we're happy to have you aboard, and we thank you so much. And hopefully this will be the start of some more podcasts for you if you want. And if you out there want to be a part of our staff, info@yourgamesource.com, where you can make your own podcasts and your own articles, reviews, videos, whatever you want to do.
Can't be worse than Nick or me, so you might as well try.
This is true. This is the low bar. So
Yes. I mean, Nick is normally just a logo. He doesn't even bother turning his webcam on. So
I think we're sparing everybody having to look at his face.
Well,
so.
that's true.
That's a favor to everybody.
Well, his girlfriend now.
Oh, he has a girlfriend.
Yes, it was announced.
Yes.
Did he order her online?
Yeah, something like that. Well,
is she an NPC in a video game? I don't think she's real.
Whoa! I don't know Nick. I don't know Nick, but from
just
what
start insulting him. It's fine.
What I've gathered is it could be for charity. The girlfriend needs.
See, you're good. You don't even need to know him, and you're good.
There you go. Right. See, she fits right in. She fits right in right there with demeaning Nick. We love you,
This was your
Nick.
test to see if we were gonna keep you if you can insult Nick without meeting him. And you passed. You're good.
That's what we as Game Source community all do. We all bond around bashing Angry Nick. We love you, Angry Nick.
Uniting against the common enemy.
Just I know you probably won't even hear this anyway since you love your own podcast. But any one final thought, Sam? Just want to cheerio on out, or?
Me? Oh, well, I'm the only one of us with an actual sign-off, so...
And what would that be?
Okay, so, thank you for listening. If you have a great day. If you're listening to this at night, have a great night, and rest of some for tomorrow, but don't get greedy.
And this is Gerald. It's pull one out from my past. Another beautiful evening in paradise. We thank you for listening. We thank you for watching. And have yourself a great day.
Do you love games, breathe games, and bleed games? Then this is the crew for you. If you are interested in editorial, podcasting, live events, and exclusive content, make sure to hit us up at info@yourgamesource.com and become part of a team that is dedicated to delivering all the greatest and latest in gaming news and content, all here at yourgamesource.com.